What is going on, everybody? My name is Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty3. Welcome back to Cricket 19 gameplay, and today what we're going to be doing is, of course, we're continuing to follow along the Australian Summer of Cricket, playing as Australia in the test matches, which they, of course, are taking on Pakistan starting today at the Gabba. Let's head down to the middle for the toss of the coin. Tim Payne is down there with Azhar Ali. And Pakistan have won the toss. And I think that at the Gabba pitch, you want to bat first. So Pakistan have won the toss. And they've chosen to bat. Now, as we have gone through these sort of tournaments or these matches, we've been going through every single match of the Australian Summer. We'll have both coverages of Australia versus Pakistan in video game form over here. As well as the Australia versus New Zealand Test Series. We'll be covering that as well. Through the video games and seeing how well we can do. So Mitchell Starc, the man for Australia, who has been selected. If my teams are a little off, I had to guess. Alright, I recorded these a few days before the match has actually started. I have gone with the young Naseem Shah for Pakistan to play, and I think maybe their batting lineup might be a little bit out of whack, but we'll see how we go once we get into that. It's Imam al-Haq and Azhar Ali to open the batting with Mitchell Starc steaming in. And so far, it's been a good start. And they're going to get a single here to get themselves off the mark. The first runs of the day for Pakistan. None for one at the end of the first over. Josh Hazlewood, the man bowling at the other end. This time, Imam gets it away. And it might go all the way to the cover boundary. It does. Pretty quick outfield here at the Gabba. Joe Burns couldn't get it down there. Oh, what a response from Josh Hazlewood. This is an absolute ripping delivery. It swings in and nips away. Hits the top of off. I don't think I've seen a better delivery from Josh Hazlewood. Just reminds me of that Ryan Harris ball towards Alistair Cook earlier on. Pakistan lose their first early with a bit of brilliance from Josh Hazlewood. This time it's the skipper Azhar Ali who's edging, and he's out. So Australia go bang bang. Starc and Hazlewood getting breakthroughs early. Pakistan 2 for 5. Steve Smith a good catch. Both openers already out for Pakistan. As I said, 2 for 5. Azhar Ali gone for a golden duck, facing his first ball. Didn't face a ball throughout the opening 2 overs. And it brings Asad Shafiq to the crease, along with Shan Masood. So it is going to be a little bit of a recovery required from Pakistan here. Both openers going in the first 2 overs. Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazlewood on fire for Australia early. This one through the gap. Should be 4. No one down there. Quick outfield. Into 5 overs. Pakistan 2 for 17. Australia changing up the bowling now. Pat Cummins coming in. Obviously not deciding to bowl him with the new ball today, Australia. They know they've got the #1 bowler in the world. But they just feel Mitchell Starc is more benefited with the new ball than if he was to come in at first change. And that's why they've decided to go with Cummins as first change. And we have seen a little bit of a recovery here from Pakistan. At the moment, 12 overs have gone. They're 2 for 37, so a little bit of a partnership building here. 32 runs with this boundary. And Shafiq 20 from 29. Masood 12 from 36. They've both started reasonably well. That one chipped in the air. Pat Cummins getting to it. And he's taken the catch. Shafiq's going to go. Cummins gets his first, and we've seen all 3 of Australia's seamers get wickets early on here on day 1. This has been an absolutely brilliant start from the Aussies. Pakistan 3 for 37. Caught and bowled Cummins. Shafiq's going to go. Babar Azam, the #1 2020 player in the world, making his way to the crease to face the #1 test bowler in the world. Now, Bubba's in ripping form right now. That is an inside edge. Lucky to get away with. We'll go to the boundary for 4. But Babar Azam's in some ripping form of late, averaging 50 across pretty much all formats at the moment. Australia deciding it's almost time, or it is time, for Nathan Lyon to come into the attack. Maybe they can get Azam early. This time he's just playing that nicely away to the boundary for 4 and 50 up for Pakistan now. They're sort of going at a reasonably slow run rate. There's a wicket as well. Nathan Lyon just turning it away. There's a bit of grip here on day one for the spinner. Masood playing that one as if it was just going to go straight on, and it's gripped and turned in the off stump out of the ground. Pakistan lose their 4th wicket. Lyon gets Masood for 18. Iftikhar Ahmed coming to the middle. And a good bowling change from the Aussies. A couple of overs in. Lyon gets a wicket. The run rate 2.87 as we said. Reasonably slow here from Pakistan, but a fantastic session from the Aussies so far. 4 wickets in the first 23 overs. They're in a very good position at the moment. So it's up to Iftikhar and Gabba Azam here to recover. There's looking for 2 here. It might not be on. Tim Paine throws the stumps. And the finger goes up. So Iftikhar Ahmed gets run out off the back of some really poor running between the wickets. Just slow on the turn. No one really saw it coming, and in the end Tim Paine just thought, oh crap, I better get the stumps off. Well, the bail's off the stumps and he's going to go for 9. Pakistan 5 down in the first session. 5 for 72. It's the wicketkeeper Rizwan now to the crease. He gets a boundary early on. 25 overs gone, 5 for 76. Australia very happy. That's the opening session done now. What a ripping start from them in that session. They've taken 5 wickets, conceded the 85 runs, but they're well and truly ahead of the game. Gabba Azam and Mohammad Rizwan at the crease. 19 from 52, Gabba Azam, and he's hit that one to the boundary with the first ball after lunch on day 1. So he's been at the crease for quite a while. He's started to work at some form. That one, he's hitting over the top, dangerously a little bit, but hit it very well. All the way down to the sight screen, down the ground, and Rizwan also starting to build himself into an innings. He's faced 21 balls now. They're looking for 3 here, and they're going to get it. Gabba Azam very quick between the wickets. We know that from his short form game. That he can play and run very quickly. This will be another boundary for Rizwan, and the 100 up for Pakistan. And they get there in 33.3 overs. They bring up their 100. Whoa, this is close. Big shout. I think Josh Hazlewood has another. He does. Finger goes up from the umpire. Josh Hazlewood gets another wicket, deciding to not review that one. They had a little bit of a consultation. Rizwan says, no, I think I'm out. Brings Yasir Shah to the crease. And Pakistan 6 down inside the opening half of the first day's play. And all of a sudden they're into the tail. Gabba Azam needs to sort of get a move on, you feel. There's another wicket from Pat Cummins. Straight through the middle stump. Yasir Shah didn't hang around long. Just threw the shot early. And Cummins straight through him. So Yasir Shah goes for 6. Pakistan 7 down. 409. Shaheen Adil Afridi coming to the crease. Along with Gabba Azam, who's been stuck at the other end for a couple of balls and just seen it all unfold. 36 overs gone. 7 for 111. Pakistan in all sorts here on day 1. As Afridi gets it to the boundary. But it is mostly going to need to be Gabba Azam to get these runs for Pakistan. A lot of pressure on him now when he's fielding it. As Nathan Lyon bowls him. Gets rid of his off stump. Lots of pressure on Gabba. Tried to increase the run rate. Didn't have too much faith in his bowlers, and in trying to play the big shot as clean missed it. And he's gone for 29. Pakistan lose their last recognised batsman. They're now 8 down as Imran Khan comes to the crease at number 9. And that is a ripping ball from Lyon to start. Was there an edge on it? No, says the umpire. Bit of a late shout there. Oh, another big shout. Maybe just hitting him outside the line. Umpire says not out. But Lion starting to get the ball to talk. Starting to get a lot of turn. 40 overs old and Pakistan 8 down. It's just been a great start from Australia. And they should be batting fairly soon. Little inside edge from Afridi. Pat Cummins has another. And Australia firing on day one. 9 wickets down are Pakistan. And this is exactly the start the Aussies would have been after. They would have won the toss. Or if they'd won the toss, they would have elected to bat. But instead, they've had a chance to bowl. It's been a little bit of overcast conditions today. It wasn't quite as sunny as some were predicting. And on this Gabba pitch with a lot of bounce, we've seen Australia do a lot of damage. It's the young man, Naseem Shah, the 16-year-old. He's out in the middle. He's got a couple of runs on the board. He'd be pretty happy with that. And now he's edged it. And Tim Paine takes the catch. Pakistan all out for 136. Josh Hazlewood, very happy. He gets 3. As Pakistan make their way off the ground. What a start from Australia. 48 overs. They've managed to knock over Pakistan for 136. They'll have a chance to bat throughout the back half of the day's play. And they are in a very strong position here on day one. No real standouts with the bat. Babar Azam, the only one to get a start. 29 runs. The Aussies, 3 wickets for Hazlewood and Cummins. Stark getting 1 and Lyon getting a couple. Very even contribution from the bowlers there. Just very even across the 48 overs. 12 overs each, pretty much. As Warner and Burns make their way out to the middle. Imran Khan going to open the bowling for Pakistan. Deciding to not give the new ball to the young man, or at least to start off the test match. Joe Burns on strike. Well left. And now Naseem Shah, he's given the ball for the second over, just the wide from the first over. It was a very quiet one. And he's going to bowl to Warner, and that's not a bad start. Warner just mistiming it. We know he's in a little bit of poor form, and he's got his first test wicket. And it is the dangerous David Warner. He went short. Warner tried to take him on, and he's just hit a bottom edge and smashed his off stump out of the ground. Oh, he'll be kicking himself, David Warner. But Naseem Shah gets his first test match wicket in his opening over. And it brings Marnus Labuschagne to the crease for Australia. But gee, what a moment for the young man, Naseem Shah. As Joe Burns gets the first runs off the bat for Australia. Now Labuschagne taking this on and getting the boundary. So of course Pakistan making 136 in their first innings. Australia will be hoping to come close to or eclipse that by the end of today's play. They've got a further 40 odd overs to bat throughout the day's play. Labuschagne looking lively early. We've seen him play very well throughout the Shield as well as through the Ashes over the last summer. And Joe Burns, who hasn't played a test match since last time Australia played a test match in Australia. That'll be T on day one. Australia trailing by 112 runs, 1 for 24. Burns and Labuschagne in at the crease doing alright. Afridi's bowled well. Khan been quite expensive from his 4 overs. 21 runs coming from it. Joe Burns hitting a boundary pretty early on after tea, and the Aussies will get stuck into this final session. So they trail by 108 now, and you just think, what are they going to do? Joe Burns taking on the short ball. He goes high, and there's a wicket. There was a fielder that managed to get underneath it. Just a really poor shot selection this time from Joe Burns. Didn't quite get onto that pull shot, and it just had a little bit too much of a top edge about it. And the catch, he's got himself into a real awkward position to take that catch. Did Azhar Ali, but he took it anyway. Australia lose their second wicket, 2 for 28. And Australia's best player, Stephen Smith, makes his way to the middle. And it looks like early on he's going to hit this one through mid-wicket for a couple of runs. So as we were saying, Marnus Labuschagne playing very well through the Sheffield Shield as well as through the Ashes over the last period. Was Steve Smith's concussion replacement, which gave him an opportunity to play at test match level, and what he managed to do with that opportunity was deliver a half century in just about every innings he played, and he looked very, very comfortable at the crease at test match level. Unfortunately for him, he's been unable to convert any of those half centuries into his maiden test ton, but he has played very, very nicely throughout them. Today at the Gabba at home, is this an opportunity for Marnus Labuschagne to get his maiden first test match ton here? And he's looking good early, 34 from 48. Another boundary through mid-wicket here. Let's take a look at this shot. Just nice and balanced. A little bit of wrist work, getting it through there. And he's with his batting partner in crime, Steve Smith, who we saw in the nets earlier this week. Just absolutely smash a delivery and walk off. Similar to, I guess, the UFC, where you got a walk-off KO. This is a 50 partnership for Smith and Labuschagne. He sort of just smashed it and walked off and went, I'm in ripping form right about now. I don't need to do anything. Labuschagne is also in ripping form. That's a great boundary. It's just a full toss, and he thought, I'm going to have a piece of this. Bang! So the young man, Shah, just unable to really continually keep the consistency with his bowling, and he'll learn that with experience. Only 16 years of age and already has his first wicket in test matches. He'll be very pleased that he got that out of the way pretty quick smart. Oh, and Afridi has now been smashed through the covers. This could be the 100 up for Australia. It's going towards the boundary, and it's there. So Australia, after 25 overs, 2 for 100. They're bringing up in fine form, a run rate of about 4 and over, and this is what you can do at the Gabba, especially Australian sides. This is what they do at this venue. Oh, that is a great shot. Steve Smith, it's that to the boundary for 4, 2 for 104. And we talk about the run rate because Australia at home, they know that there's very predictable bounce on their wickets here. Labuschagne gets a single to bring up his 50. And it has been a good knock from him today. 50 from 72, 5 fours throughout that. And he's looked good so far today. Yasir Shah now, the spinner, coming to the crease. Labuschagne punching him through the covers. Should be a couple of runs. Is it going to crit the boundary for 4? It does. It does. So the predictable bounce here on these Australian wickets. They know how it's going to go, and they play the wickets very well here in Australia. Steve Smith with another 4 gets into 40 runs. He's having a very good day so far. As we close in sort of towards the end of the day's play, there's around about 10 overs to go, so we're inside the final hour of play. There's the 100-run partnership between Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith, and they've just looked very comfortable at the crease. That's unlucky from a Pakistan perspective. Steve Smith wanting to leave that ball, just come off his hip down the leg side, and 4 runs. So the scores are level, and Australia officially take the lead with that single from Steve Smith. Just 32 overs into their innings, they've got the lead. And on day 1, Australia leading it in what was a very, very good performance by their bowlers early. Now their batsmen are doing the job. That one went to the boundary for 4 as well. Lead now up over 6 runs. See just the variation in what Pakistan are trying with their bowling. No real consistency in how things are going. So it's still Australia with a 10-run lead. Steve Smith 45 runs now. Looking to bring up his half century fairly soon. He's not in any kind of a rush at the moment. He just loves to get out there and bat and bat and bat and bat. Look at him. Just very, very fine. Just looking around the wickets. Thinking, I've got this. Can just chill for a moment. 47 runs right now. Little edge, and there's a wicket. Oh, gee, that is just out of nowhere. It's the young man, Shah again. Naseem Shah who gets it. Steve Smith looking to sort of play this one inside out. And it gets a little bit of a leading edge to the man at sort of a fourth slip or fine gully. Steve Smith goes just before bringing up the 50. He's out for 47. A wicket out of nowhere. Travis Head out in the middle now. Australia's lead still 12 runs. They lose their third wicket, 3 for 48, and Travis Head will now be looking to survive, I think, towards the end of the day's play. Steve Smith very disappointed with himself. Obviously, there wasn't long left in the day's play. We're inside sort of the final half hour, final 5 or 6 overs. But we might see a little bit of a reduction in the overs today due to some maybe bad light here at the Gabba. Due to the very overcast conditions, might only see 30, 39 or 40 overs worth of play rather than the full 42. So we might be a couple of overs short as Travis Head gets himself off the mark here. 37.5 overs gone, Head on a couple. Australia lead it by 20. Good dot ball there. And now we have official confirmation. This is the last ball of the day from Yasir Shah to Travis Head. Goes to the sweep. Doesn't get anything on it. And it'll be a dot ball. Australia will be pretty happy with that. And it is the end of the first day's play. Australia leading by 21 runs after a bowling masterclass early from the Australian quicks. And then a very good bit of batting between Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne put Australia in this strong position. A big 100-run partnership between those two got them here. And Australia leading by 21 runs here on the first day. The young man, Naseem Shah, also getting his first wicket in Test match cricket. He's got a couple, 2 for 31. He also got the big wicket of Steve Smith. So he'd be pretty with that. But at the end of the day, it was Australia's day. They lead it by 21 runs. Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith, the batting partnership of the day, which has provided us with all kinds of highlights. Thank you everyone for tuning into our coverage here on day 1 of this test match between Australia and Pakistan. It is a 2-match series. Thank you all for watching. Tune in tomorrow for day 2 action. Goodbye.